How'd you hear about it?
Private aircraft, well, all aircraft are required to have an emergency locator beacon in it. Now they're all satellite based. And I got a call from the monitoring station that monitors the beacon saying the beacon had gone off on the airplane. And the beacon identifies itself as to which airplane it is. And I assumed that David just had a hard landing at Billard, so I was going to drive out and shut the beacon off and then check back with him. About halfway to Billard, Dave called me. He was in an ambulance on his way to the hospital and explained that he'd had the accident and that they'd extracted him from the airplane and he was on his way to the hospital.
How did Dave sound?
Like he was about 150% adrenaline. And he thought at that point he thought he had some broken ribs. And stopped by and saw him in a hospital a little after midnight last night, and he was still hurting real bad, but by then they'd x-rayed him and found out that he didn't have any broken bones, so we're all real fortunate that he's okay.
They cut the pillars on the airplane, peeled the roof back up, and Dave stood up and stepped out of the wreckage. So.
What would a person do? Do you get trained for an instance like this? Or?
Well, you get a lot of training for emergency landings, and every pilot's worst nightmare is an off-airport landing at night, because you just can't see. You know, that airplane probably approached at about 100 miles an hour, maybe a little under that. My guess was at the top of that tree he was doing about 90 miles an hour, and he went from 90 miles an hour to stopped, and a couple of hundred feet there.
75 yards, maybe.
Maybe a second, 2 seconds to see what he was going to deal with when he landed. And at that point, he wasn't going around.
Yeah. And the wingspan's over 36 feet on this airplane when it's all in one piece. So it's a fairly narrow area here to try to put the airplane down in.
Just amazed he got in and didn't get hurt.